December holiday, one of Deltarune's biggest mysteries and the subject of many theories. Now let's answer the real question. Is this Ness? No, she's not. Thanks for watching. Okay, jokes aside, her lore is quite mysterious and chilling, so let's get right into it. The name Des was first mentioned in chapter 1, when inspecting an angel doll in Rudy's hospital room. He tells us that Noel and Des made it in youth group. Later, Noel mentions Des smacking Chris with a wiffle bat when they were kids, which will be important later. In chapter 2 it was pretty much confirmed that Des was indeed Noel's sister. As we go through Cyberworld, there's a part where Noel tells us more about her childhood with Chris, Azriel and Des. Chris is known to pull pranks on Noel, and Des was there to protect her. These pressure plates Noel activates spell out December, and at that point it becomes obvious that December is Des's full name. There's also a part of Birdley's flashback when Noel failed to spell December during a spelling contest, likely because it reminded her of something bad that happened to her sister, which is also why everyone always talks about Des in past tense. Surprisingly, Susie also seems to know more than we do, because she gets silent after Rudy mentions Noel's sister in the hospital. On a side note, the Cyberworld's moon is a baseball, and we know that Des played wiffle ball, as Noel wishes Des could see this moon. Also, Noel's room in the Queen's mansion has a calendar where every day is December 25th, which is quite literally December holiday. Queen made this room based on Noel's search history, so it's implied that Noel was searching for any mentions of December holiday online. And here's another interesting thing. We know that two families, Dreamers and Holidays, used to be close to each other, and at some point Asgore was in the police force, but he was removed after some incident, which probably led to Toriel divorcing him and the two families drifting apart. Could that be related to Des's disappearance or something else? Let me know in the comments. Before the release of chapters 3 and 4, Toby Fox hosted a charity event called Spamton Sweepstakes. As you would expect, it had a lot of hidden stuff for people to find. Now that's another rabbit hole for a separate video, so let's focus only on stuff related to Des. The IC page had a hyperlink to another page called December. Clicking it would show a fake 404 error, but it didn't take a long time for people to find the real page by entering Des instead. All it had was a guitar, and it was titled It's a Red Guitar, although one could argue it's orange. It also played a song called Find Her, which is a guitar cover of Lost Girl from the Deltarune OST. It's as if Toby is trying to tell us something. During the live Q&A, Spamton mentioned that Noel always responded to his free friend Finder emails about Des. Finder was spelled as Find Her. And on another page, Noel also admits to reading her spam mail just in case it's someone real. This is more proof that Noel was desperately looking for her sister online, and she's probably doing it to this day. In chapter 3, we finally get to see Des in a flashback, although only her silhouette. And the order in which the sprites disappear probably matters here. First is Des, then her mother, and then Asgore. It might be more proof that Asgore was involved in Des's disappearance, but we don't know for sure. The number 1225 seems to be important because it's used as a parental lock for music videos in one of the puzzles. While Tana mentions Des a few times, there is nothing too important. But there is one important thing in chapter 3 that most people missed. There is a gumball machine in the B rank room that you can use to gamble your points. If you insert exactly 1225 points, you get teleported to this weird looping maze that almost feels like an unfinished debug room. Interestingly, the background music here is Find Her. Eventually, you can find a blue machine that gives you a small dark triangle. It says it's hard like lacquer, and when Chris takes it, it slips through their hand, and they could no longer find it, or find their hand. And then you get teleported back where there is no longer a gumball machine. I have no idea what this implies, but it's definitely related to Des and maybe shadow crystals? Let me know. In chapter 4, when visiting Noel's house, we can go to Des's bedroom, and here's that guitar again. It's probably the single most important item in this chapter, because it has one of the codes to the shelter. We get to see some of it before Chris interrupts us, but it's safe to assume the code is probably 1225, given the way this number keeps appearing throughout the chapters. Interacting with items in Des's room reinforces the idea that she and Azriel were close friends in the past. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the unused dialogue found in the game code. In chapter 1 there was someone calling for help, trapped in some dark place. In chapter 2 the dialogue continued, they started hearing something that sounded like scratching. In chapter 3 they talked about the nightmare of walking into the darkness. In chapter 4 they started to lose track of the time, but they can still hear the scratching noise. Also in chapter 2, if you speak to Spamton about fear, someone else is talking directly to us for a second, asking for help. If we assume this is Des, somehow trapped in the game code, then who's really responsible for her disappearance? I think the Holiday family definitely holds some answers. Like for example, Carol talking directly to the player and maybe being the same person who talks with Chris on the phone. I I don't want to start arguing whether she's the knight, or Des is the knight, or Newbert is the knight. That's the game theory territory, and I'll leave it up to Deltarune nerds. But hopefully we'll get more answers in chapter 5 next year. And that's all you need to know about Des in under 5 minutes. Let me know if I missed anything important, subscribe and smash that like button, and follow me on Twitch for more gaming content.